Hello and welcome to the Rise Centre in Amsterdam. I hope your journey to IBC 2009 has been safe and relaxed. Over the next 5 days at this time, we'll be bringing you all the main stories from around the show and lots more besides. You're watching IBC TV News. In this programme, thriving or surviving, how our industry is coping with the recession. It's a great pitch, but who's going to play? We look at the future of sport in 3D. And small screen, big idea. We meet the man who filmed an entire documentary series on a mobile phone. Now, as thousands of delegates arrive here at IBC today, there's one question which dominates the entire industry. How can broadcasters and their suppliers survive the economic storm? In a business driven by young minds, many people have never seen a time like this. But despite tales of falling orders, there is good news to be found. Karen Griggs now reports on the state of the global market.
Lights, camera, but just how much action will there be at this year's IBC? Certainly 2009 is proving to be a tough year for some.
We were always predicting that 2009 would be a tougher year. It's the worst year in the cycle. But clearly at the beginning of the year we hadn't anticipated that TV advertising would have its biggest fall in 40 years, for example. So it's been really tough out there for the technology suppliers in the marketplace.
This time last year, the industry was weathering the storm. Despite the gathering clouds of recession, broadcast manufacturers were reporting a growth of 10%. But that was before the world banking crisis, with its profound effect on every industry. At this year's IBC, the landscape looks very different. Exhibitors here are reporting an average dip in revenues of 15% in the first half of the year compared with 2008. That's against a fall in GDP of around 10%. So, on the face of it, the industry has taken more than its fair share of the pain. But it's not all bad news. In the emerging markets of Asia and Africa, growth still averages 11%. In India, the broadcast technology market grew by more than 60% between 2006 and 2008 and continues to forge ahead. And China has now overtaken Japan as the largest market in the Asia-Pacific region. By 2012, it'll account for more than half the demand in that area.
I mean, the global TV industry is worth €250 billion a year, and the key point is that it has been growing at 6% per annum, even during the recession. And there are some fantastic success stories in the emerging markets. I mean, the BRIC countries, which is Brazil, Russia, India and China, have been growing at 18% per annum over the last 5 years. That's pretty hefty growth.
But if you're not in one of those BRIC countries, how do you survive in this competitive marketplace? If someone sits on a panel, the future of the industry, how to survive and prosper, you hope they might know the answer to the question. The Vitek Group's chief executive, Job Janssen, is such a panellist and therefore gets such a question.
The banking world has had big problems, and that had an effect on the whole media chain. So if the money is not there, then what do you do? And that's what we're trying with our customers and with new customers is to work together.
And at IBC, making contacts to make those new customers is all important in a highly competitive marketplace.
We talk about budgets constantly, and we look at all of the different marketing spend that we put out, but IBC really is a fundamental show for us. We have fantastic meetings, and it's a great way to meet lots of different customers all in one place, and indeed our partners as well.
This year's IBC sees more than 1,200 exhibitors packing into 12 halls from 130 different countries. This global recession is now being fought by a very global but united broadcasting industry.
Karen Griggs reporting there. Well, time now to meet IBC's Chief Operating Officer, Mike Crimp. Mike, great to see you again. What has IBC got in store for us this year?
Well, Rob, I think it's going to be another classic IBC. We've got 12 fabulous halls of technology. I know for a fact that there's going to be some big deals that are announced, and we've got some fantastic content, much of it in 3D this year.
The conferences began yesterday. What's the feedback been so far?
The rooms were really busy yesterday, and the sessions were really quite strong. What we've done this year, as well as the technical sessions, we've invested in 2 other streams, the business of broadcasting and content. And the reason that we've done that is we want to widen the perspective. So we've brought in speakers who can give opinion across a wide range of media. For example, I'm looking forward to Marty Pompadour, who's an ex-News Corp executive. And I think it helps us to understand the future media landscape, not just TV.
And anything else you'd highlight?
Well, I said to you earlier, Rob, I think this is going to be a classic IBC, and for me there's an important element in there, which is fun. At IBC you can see movies, you can go to parties, there's some fantastic things to do, and it's in a wonderful city. So what I say is work hard, play hard, and enjoy yourself while you're at IBC.
Here, I'd second that. Mike, thank you very much, and have a great show. OK, let's catch up with all the latest business news now. Here's Chris Page.
Thank you, Rob. Grass Valley has won an order to set up a new playout centre in Sydney. It's a joint project by Australia's ABC and commercial broadcaster Win TV, and is thought to be worth more than $20 million. The deal, announced here at IBC, comes as Grass Valley owners Thomson continue talks to sell the company to a venture capital group. Grass say they're confident the sale will go through.
We're pretty far along in the process. In fact, we're very near the end. But currently today we're not saying much other than the process is continuing, and we hope to make an announcement soon.
Radio Frequency Systems has been chosen by the Moscow Regional Centre branch of RTRN to supply the first digital television antenna in Moscow. It'll be installed on Moscow's famous Ostankino television tower. Tandberg Television has announced that On.net, a subsidiary of Telecom Slovenia, has deployed a 60-channel digital terrestrial TV service in the Republic of Macedonia, using its MPEG-4 ABC head-end solutions. Harris Corporation has supplied the HD infrastructure for a new OB truck to be used by Italy's L'Opera broadcast video service. OB5 HD has a 256x256 Harris Platinum router at its heart, allowing the truck to handle 3G signals. DFT Digital Film Technology, which makes the market-leading Spirit Telecine, has announced orders for its new Scanity film scanner from Digiimage Cinema in France and Sony Pictures in Hollywood. The scanner will be used for viewing rushes, archiving and film mastering. Telestream has announced an order from systems integrator Studio Hamburg MCI. Its pipeline and episode products were chosen for a tapeless workflow project at Studio Berlin Adlershof. The studio becomes the technical centre for TV Berlin and Hamburg 1. This is now one of the largest production facilities in Europe. And finally for today, Vinton has announced a large order for tripods, heads and other support equipment. They're going to SABC in South Africa for next year's Football World Cup finals. The kit's going into a fleet of 4 new outside broadcast trucks being built in the UK. And that's today's roundup of stories from around the broadcast industry. We'll have more business news tomorrow.